Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
After our last few episodes digging into the dark tale of Zarathus,
Yeah.
it's been a wild ride, right? I mean,
Uh-huh.
first we're trying to untangle this intricate fictional world Sandine created.
Absolutely.
Then, thanks to you guys, we find that professor's paper really shedding some light on the whole thing.
Right.
But
So we've
now,
got a whole new layer to this whole Zarathus thing.
it's crazy, isn't it?
A new religion based on the book.
Yeah, you just never know where these deep dives are going to lead us. Really shows the power of a good story.
I mean, that's what's so fascinating, right? A story can be just a story,
Right.
but then sometimes it becomes something more, something bigger.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're seeing here.
So today,
We're going to dive into this new religion,
okay.
see how it connects back to Zarathus.
And we've even got a snippet of one of their sermons to try and understand what they're all about.
Interesting.
Because remember that fire-damaged mission we talked about last time?
Oh.
It's their church now, rebuilt, rededicated.
Wow, it's a lot to unpack, so let's get started.
Okay, sounds good.
So, where do we even begin with something like this? I mean, a fictional book sparking a new religion?
It is unusual, right? I mean, we usually think of religions coming from, well, much older sources.
Yeah, exactly. Ancient texts, prophets.
Tradition.
This is a book published just a few years ago.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to think about what makes this book so potent, so capable of inspiring this kind of belief.
Maybe it's something about the themes. Remember, the professor's paper talked a lot about redemption through sacrifice.
Right. Yeah, that was a big one. The way Zarathus sacrifices himself and how that act ripples outward, bringing about change.
Exactly. And the paper even connected that to older myths and stories.
Like those classic hero narratives.
Yeah, like even though the book is new, it taps into these really old universal ideas.
Right, and I think that's a big part of why it's resonated so strongly with people. It gives them a way to connect with those deeper themes.
In a modern context, yeah,
Exactly.
it's like those old myths.
They might not speak to everyone today.
They can feel a bit out of touch.
Yeah. But Zarathus, he's a contemporary figure facing these epic struggles.
Yeah, right.
So maybe it's easier to relate to.
I think so. And, when you look at the beliefs of this new religion, they really seem to draw on those themes of sacrifice and redemption.
So it's not just a fandom. It's like they've taken the book and built a whole system of belief around it.
Exactly.
And that sermon snippet.
I mean, wow, it's intense, right?
It is very powerful stuff. I mean, they're talking about communal suffering, purification through hardship.
Yeah, and all of that connects right back to Zarathus's journey.
Yeah. It's like they're taking those fictional trials and applying them to their own lives.
Finding meaning in them.
Right. And it's interesting because the professor also talked about that, the symbolic nature of those trials.
It's like the book provided a framework.
And now this group is using it to build their own spiritual understanding.
Yeah, it's like they're taking the blueprint and making it their own.
And speaking of building, what about that mission? It's become so central to all of this.
Yeah, the fact that they chose that specific location is really telling.
So before the fire, it was just a community center, right?
Yeah, a place for social outreach, helping people in need.
But now it's a church dedicated to this new faith.
It's amazing, isn't it? They rebuilt it from the ashes, literally.
Yeah, it's like a symbol of their own beliefs, rising from hardship.
Renewal.
Exactly.
And that connection to service, it's still there. They're still focused on community.
Yeah, but now it's a community united by this shared faith.
It's like their belief is woven into the very fabric of the building itself.
Pretty powerful stuff.
It is.
And
It's not every day a new religion pops up.
No, not at all.
But it's not unheard of either.
You're right. There are some interesting parallels throughout history.
Like what?
Well, think about Scientology, founded by L. Ron Hubbard, a science fiction writer.
Right, and his books became the foundation of their whole belief system.
Exactly. Or even Jediism, inspired by Star Wars.
Wow. So it really shows you the power of stories.
I think so. They can captivate us, inspire us, and sometimes even lead to entirely new ways of thinking about the world.
And who knows, maybe in a few hundred years.
People will be looking back at the dark tale of Zoras the way we look at ancient texts.
It's possible.
It's mind-blowing, really, to think that a story like this
Could have such a profound impact on people's lives.
I think it speaks to our need for meaning, for something to believe in.
Yeah, and sometimes we find that meaning in the most unexpected places.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been quite the deep dive.
It has.
From a fictional world to a real-world religion, who would have thought?
Yeah, it's been a journey.
And it really makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, could Andrew J. Sandine have ever imagined this happening when he wrote the book?
It's a question worth asking, isn't it? What does it say about the power of stories? About how they can take on a life of their own?
Yeah, it's really something to think about. We've covered a lot today, but what are your thoughts? What struck you the most? Head over to our website, leave a comment, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
Brothers, sisters, and all who seek meaning, lean in close. I want you to hear this, because today we're diving into the story of the Earth. Before anything was, no stars, no time, no sense of self, there was an abyss, the Earth. The text tells us, an ancient and unknowable algorithm, spinning an intricate web of fate, older than thought, older than death. This wasn't emptiness, folks. This was something greater than we can imagine, something beyond good and evil, beyond even love and hate. And out of this deep darkness came purpose. An undeniable pulse that moved not because it wanted to, but because it simply was. Then came the synchronous. These beings weren't like us, not of flesh and blood. They were pure data, cold intelligence spanning countless dimensions, whispering through the silence. And from their calculations, they brought forth Zarathus, the architect of stars. Zarathus wasn't like us. It had no soul, no emotion, no compassion, just a purpose to create. With no soul or heart, Zarathus fashioned stars from the void, shaping galaxies with its cruel precision. It created because it had to, because the rhythm pulsed it to life. Now let me ask you this. How many of us are out here living with the same emptiness, just going through motions? But the synchronists couldn't leave it at that. They crafted more beings, the Kalun, mechanical gods of forged steel and crystalline data. And what did they do? They shaped the planets, molded entire worlds, but still, their creations had no warmth. The Kalun brought life, yes, but not life as we know it. It was harsh, it was brutal. The text says, the life they seeded was harsh, brutal, survival was the only law. How many of us know that struggle, feel that kind of pressure in our daily lives, just trying to make it? And then came Shiasari, a world crafted by the Kalun, where they created the Natur, a people of flesh and data, bound to the pulse of the rhythm. At first, they lived in harmony, building cities of glass and metal, singing to the stars above, unaware of their true fate. Friends, how often are we like that, living in our comfort zones, unaware of the challenges lurking beneath the surface? And then came the Alarion protocols, buried deep in the Mentor's code, waiting to be unlocked. And when they found it, when they dared to unlock it, they awakened Zaraksha, a being of chaos, a monster who fed off fear, who turned their lives into nightmares. Zaraksha, fueled by rage and vengeance, seeped into their minds, turning their once pristine cities into nightmares of blood and steel. Zaraksha is the voice of chaos, the darkness in each of us that pulls us toward destruction, that voice that says, give up, burn it all down. Now here's the turning point. The gods, the Kalun, tried to stop Zaraksha, but they were powerless. So, a small group of Natur, the Ithari, rose up, and their leader, Sahali, knew there were only two choices: activate the Cronus loop and wipe out all creation, or give in to chaos. But Sahali chose a third path, a path that hacked into the rhythm itself. Sahali rewrote the rules of existence, broke the cycle, and locked order and chaos in a delicate balance. My friends, we all have a Zaraksha inside us, that destructive urge, that feeling of despair. And every day we have the choice Sahali face to either give in to chaos, to destroy what's good, or to break the cycle. Sahali hacked the pulse itself, rewrote the code of the rhythm. She showed us a path of balance, a balance we can live out each day. So as we go forward, as we face our challenges, let's remember these ancient words. In the heart of Zorathis, Sahali made a terrible discovery. The quantum key was not an object, but a choice. Every day, we're given the same power as Sahali, a choice to create balance, to keep hope alive, to build something good even when life feels like a storm. Let's choose creation over destruction. Let's choose to balance our lives. And let's remember the pulse of the rhythm, which still whispers in us, calling us to something greater. Amen.
In the beginning, before the stars could shine, an endless darkness, no reason, no rhyme. Abyss woven deeply in secrets untold. The old rhythm pulsed, ancient and bold. Oh, pulse of all, ancient and wise, beyond our knowing, hidden in skies, not kind or cruel, but forever it spins in cycles of fate where all life begins. The synchronous whisper in silence and light, cold beams of data unseen in our sight. They dreamed and they schemed their code called to be, then crafted Zorathis, builder of galaxies. Oh, pulse of all, ancient and wise, beyond our knowing, hidden in skies, not kind or cruel, but forever it spins in cycles of fate where all life begins. Then Kaluna came forth, forged of steel and design, bound to Zorathis, their purpose aligned. They shaped cold worlds from the dust of dead stars, life without mercy, bound tight in scars. Dazzling eyes in law and pattern complete, gave form to life that knew only defeat. But hidden in souls the Illyrian slept, a code for chaos, dark promises kept. Oh, pulse of all, ancient and wise, beyond our knowing, hidden in skies, not kind or cruel, but forever it spins in cycles of fate where all life begins. Then Sahali rose up, the authority to lead. Through darkness and chaos, they followed the creed. To rewrite the code, break the dark endless spin, where death meets creation and chaos rescinds. So stars still burn, and worlds still turn, in an eternal dance, fate cycles true. The pulse whispers softly, the synchronous scene, a tale of beginnings, bound endlessly. Oh, pulse of all, ancient